Hello. Well, it's Friday. Ready for the joke? It's actually kind of a sad story. I'm kind of a world traveler, and I was in another country, and I got arrested. Very scary thing. In America, there's due process. You have constitutional rights. A lot of other countries, it's not like that. In America, there's not a whole lot they can do to you. They can send you to jail. In other countries, there's no constitutional amendment about cruel or unusual punishment. They can pretty much do whatever they want to you. Very scary thing to be arrested in another country. So I have this lawyer they assigned to me. He doesn't seem like he's very good. And then the judge, I think he just kind of does whatever the dictator tells him to do. It doesn't seem to be a man dedicated to fairness and justice. So I'm really worried about it. Anyway, they have the trial. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm falsely accused, but the judge doesn't want to hear it. The judge slams his gavel down and says guilty. He says, Mr. Kruglinski, I sentence you to 6 months on Monster Island. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds terrible. I said to my lawyer, 6 months on Monster Island? He goes, calm down, relax. Monster Island, it's just a name. Well, flash forward, I'm on this beach. There's a thick jungle right next to the beach, and I'm running for my life with about 12 other prisoners. Our clothes is all tattered. We have scratches everywhere. We turn from the beach into the jungle because there's something chasing us. It's a giant lizard. It looks a little bit like Godzilla. It's on its hind legs. It's blowing fire, and then right behind it is another creature. It has like a face like tentacles of a squid, and it's got these razor sharp teeth, and they're both just trying to eat us. They're chasing after us, and I am just scared like I've never been. And I say to the guy running next to me, another prisoner, I said, oh my gosh, my lawyer, he said Monster Island is just a name. And the other guy says, well, that's true. Monster Island, it's actually a peninsula. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and let's begin today's opening. What is the molar mass of potassium permanganate? Oh, I love that question because it brings in a lot of different chemistry standards, things that we learned a few weeks ago, things that we learned this week. Um, it just brings everything together, and that's what this is all about, learning a lot of different things that come together for a full chemistry education. So pause the video. It's going to probably take you a few minutes to solve this. So try your best, and if not, I will help you with it. Please pause the video now. Okay, we're back. What is the molar mass of potassium permanganate? Did you get it? Oh, I hope so. But let's talk about this. First of all, you want to know what is the formula, and the formula will tell you what elements are in it and in what quantity. H2O tells me that there's hydrogen and oxygen, and there's two hydrogens and just one oxygen. So that's really handy. I need to know that formula, and that brings me to the next question. What is permanganate? If you're developing fluency with the periodic table of elements, you probably knew that permanganate's not an element. Doesn't sound familiar? Or maybe you remember learning it when we were learning about polyatomic ions. That's what it is. It's a polyatomic ion. So let's go to Google. Let's do a search of polyatomic ions. And I like to look at pictures, so let's look at the images. And there are lots and lots of lists of polyatomic ions. And here's just one. And look at that, there's permanganate right there. It says that permanganate is MnO4, and it looks like it has a -1 charge. I hope that's large enough where you can read it. There's a few others here. Here's another list of common polyatomic ions, and again, there's permanganate. It's Mn, that's manganese, bonded to 4 oxygens, and it has a -1 charge. All right. And potassium is K. If you didn't know that, you look that up on a periodic table, and we found that permanganate is MnO4. And then what are the oxidation numbers? Well, we just said that permanganate is -1. But what about potassium? Maybe I don't remember that. So oxidation numbers. And again, we're doing an image search so that we can find a nice list of them. Here's a list. And you can look around for your favorite one. But here's potassium right here. And everything in this row, all the alkali metals have a +1 charge. Potassium has a +1 charge. So what are the oxidation numbers? Potassium is +1 or just a plus. Permanganate is minus or -1. So that's good. They're nice and balanced. That works out very well. So we don't need 2 potassiums. We don't need 2 permanganates. We just have 1 and 1. They're going to be perfectly balanced. The cation charge is going to equal the anion charge. So the formula must be KMnO4. There we go. Now we have the formula. So potassium has an atomic mass of 39.098. How do I know that? Well, before I started recording this, I looked up all those. But let's look at my favorite periodic table, P table, and the dynamic periodic table of elements. And you can find the potassium's atomic mass is 39.098. You can find manganese, not to be confused with magnesium. Here's manganese, 54.938. And then, of course, oxygen we've seen before is 15.999. It is so close to being 16. Okay, so there they are. And we want to multiply them. Potassium there's just one of them, so we multiply by 1. Manganese is just one of them. Oxygen, we're going to multiply by 4, and that's going to turn oxygen to 63.996. The other two numbers remain the same. Remember, when you're adding numbers, you want to line up the decimal points. We want to add up these 3 things to find the final weight of 1 mole of potassium permanganate. And we get 158.032. What does it mean? It means the molar mass of potassium permanganate is 158.032 grams per mole. If you have 2 moles, you're going to double that 158.032 moles. Grams. If you have 3 moles, you're going to triple 158.032 grams. So 1 mole, if I had 1 mole of this, it would probably be about a handful. And that would be exactly 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of it, because that's what a mole is. That's the definition of a mole. And if I had exactly 1 mole of potassium permanganate, it would weigh 158.032 grams. That's how you do it. That's how you figure out molar mass. Even if the atom is a little bit complicated with a polyatomic ion, you can certainly do it, especially if you use the power of the internet. That's the end. I just want to give a special thanks to Wikimedia Commons. I'm not publishing anybody's copyrighted material when I make these YouTube videos. I'm going to a site that provides free images. And I also want to thank the writers and the producers of The Simpsons. When I did my joke today, that was actually a joke from The Simpsons. It's strange. The Simpsons actually did 2 jokes about islands and peninsulas, and I guess they thought the joke was so good they'd use it twice. And I think it's a great joke. I hope you liked it, and let's just take a look.
This isn't an island at all. It's a peninsula.
This was supposed to be about trust. I just want to get on that boat and go home.
Well, you don't need a boat, because you can walk. Yeah.
I have to join the team or I'll get an F that will haunt me for the rest of my life.
I now pronounce you President of these United...
Stop the inauguration. I just discovered a president-elect got it up in 2nd grade gym class.
In that case, I sentence you to a lifetime of horror on Monster Island. Don't worry, it's just a name.
that Monster Island is actually a peninsula.